Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the Coop with Shaun and Shaun podcast. I'm your host, Shaun C. Taylor.
And I'm your host, Shaun B. Taylor. We have a very, very special guest today. I'm just grinning from ear to ear like a kid on Christmas because one of my best friends and best basketball players, best basketball minds that I know is in the building. Mr. Jason Conley, a.k.a. Mr. Cooper, a.k.a. Coop, a.k.a. he's a walking bucket before the kids were saying he's a bucket. Welcome to the podcast, man. Hey, my man, my brother.
Come on, Shaun. Right,
so we got Tio Chewy behind the camera today. Set us up real official like. Mm-hmm. We're on episode 18. Yeah. And what did you say about this?
Oh, well, now we're kind of in, like, adulthood for the podcasting stuff. So, like, now we're kind of adults in this stuff.
We're adults in the game, right? We're putting our big boys' pants on, right? Yeah. So, who better to have here than Mr. Cooper? Now, if you see, I'm wearing a little bling, so to speak, on my hand. I don't ever wear jewelry, but it's because Coop and I actually were members of the 1998 men's national basketball national championship team, St. John's at Prospect Hall Vikings, 25-0. Mm-hmm. That's where I met this guy right here, right? Mm-hmm. We both were coming from public school, got recruited to go out to Prospect Hall, and the rest is history. So we gonna rock this ring. Coop, he don't mess his fingers up too much from getting too many buckets, so he can't wear them.
Not for too many buckets.
But I can still wear mine.
Jammed fingers.
So let's jump right into it, man. Like I said, Coop is an extremely talented, accomplished dude. I can't say enough about this guy, right? And one of the most humble assassins that I know, okay? Mm-hmm. So, Coop, tell us a little bit about your past and the things that you've accomplished, especially after you and I won the national championship at St. John's. Like, what things really, your trajectory went crazy, right? So what happened as far as, like, post-high school?
Well, let me go back in the story because this is something that, that people need to know and hear. Your dad and I, we were part, like he said, we were part of the national championship team. But do you know how many minutes we played a game?
Right.
No, how many?
Guess. I mean, think about it. We were on the number one team in the country, and your dad and I were on the team.
Were there 48 minutes in the game?
40.
40.
No. 32.
32.
Yeah,
4 8-minute quarters.
Yeah.
32.
Right.
So I'd say about like 19.
19 seconds a game is what he and I averaged.
That's right.
We didn't play much.
Right, not at all.
You know, we didn't play much.
Right.
And we had to humble ourselves because we came from schools before where we were the man.
Right.
And then we left and went to St. John's. We had to sit on the bench.
Right, absolutely.
And I remember when we made the team, I mean, I went home and cried sometimes because I realized that I wasn't going to play.
Right. Hey, look, me too. Me too.
But then I thought about it and I started to think. I started to look past what I was seeing, and I said, you know what? I might not be playing in the games right now, but I get to go against the starting five of the number one team in the country.
Right.
Every day in practice.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Every single day in practice, and that's what made us better.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, like we played 25 games.
Yeah.
But how many practices a week did we have against these guys?
Weightlifting sessions. And these guys would go to work on us. Yeah.
Starting five, but it made us better.
Absolutely.
So I thank that time.
Yeah.
You know, although I didn't play, I thank that time because it helped me go through adversity.
Yeah.
And it also showed me, you know what? You're not just going to walk in this place and just get whatever you want.
That's it.
That's the way it is. You can't just come to the number one team in the country and expect, hey, you just going to play all these minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from that.
Yeah,
me too. A lot from that. Yeah. So
me too.
After that year, you know, we didn't play. We didn't play much.
Right.
But I was confident after winning the national championship. I was crazy with it. You know, I was confident. I went to Pit 4 camp, 5-star camp.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That summer, and we were going from St. John's to Montrose that year. Coach had a couple guys. Coach Sutton, the coach.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Coach Kevin Sutton.
Yeah, Kevin Sutton at Rhode Island right now.
Yeah.
And they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
But So we went to Montrose, and that's how the whole Montrose thing started up. Nobody knew about it. Everybody thinks about Montrose, and they think about Katie Gravis Vasquez.
Right.
But we were the first ones to start it.
That's a fact.
You know,
that's a fact.
And you know, I went to Pitt 4 camp, and I remember it was Steve Blake there, Jay Williams. Now.
Right.
We had all. It was basically all the stars. Right. So I'm in the mix with these guys.
Yeah.
And they had no idea that I didn't play a minute at a time that past year. Right. But I was still in the mix.
Yeah.
Because I came from St. John's.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that name held a lot.
It did.
Going into that.
It did.
And so I had a great tournament out there. Went into my senior year, Montrose. It was a great experience. I mean, we were doing all the same stuff we did at Stu.
Absolutely.
Coach Vetter. Same stuff.
Absolutely.
But I really enjoyed it. Like that senior year, I grew, learned a lot, and yeah. So yeah, I had a decent year. I think I averaged like 18 a game, something like that.
Decent year, humble brag.
Nah, decent
year. 18, a little decent jump.
18,
some
but,
slight.
But I also remember once the year was completed, I accepted a full scholarship to VMI, and
Military Institute.
Yeah, Virginia Military Institute.
Right.
And what you don't know is, in the Montgomery County All-Star game, I played against your dad. So we were teammates the year before.
Right.
And I ended up playing against him in the Montgomery County All-Star game because he was an All-Star. Magruder.
That's
and
right.
Then I was an all-star for the private school. I think it was a private school versus public
that's
school.
That's right. You got a good memory, Coop.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
And it was at Blair.
Yeah, you remember? Damn, that's a good memory.
Man, dog, that was a long time ago. But there's little stuff that sticks out.
Yeah, man.
So we and that was a fun time because I saw Shaun on the other side getting loose.
Yeah.
I remember you had a tattoo.
That's right. Before that was really a thing.
Before it was a, not a lot of dudes had tattoos. I look over, I was like, Shaun already got ink? What? so yeah, we that was a great experience. Went on to prep school that year first though. Before I went to VMI, I went to this prep school in Kentucky. It was like in Kentucky. Great time. I was basically just going there to get ready to go to college.
Of course.
I mean, there was nothing else to it.
Of course.
So went to VMI. Sat out the first year. I got hurt, and there's some other stuff that went on there. And then that first year, I just I was like, I went to prep school. I had to sit out that first year, so I was ready to burst.
Right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
That first year was everything.
Right. Ready
and
to
I was
rock
ready
and roll.
to just let everything loose that I had to hold back.
Right.
And went on to lead the country in scoring that year.
Right. See how this story's going? See, I told you you're humble as sats. Right. I'm gonna throw some on it because Coop. I see Coop in the Slam magazine in his military uniform. Right. They talking about he leading the nation in scoring. And I'm like, because I had gone off to college, I'm doing my thing, I'm busy, whatever, he's doing his thing. I'm like, Coop? I knew Coop was a dog, but leading the nation? I mean, how many points a game did you average that year? It was a lot. You averaged a lot.
Yeah.
Was it like 30 or something?
It was a lot.
No, it was not 30.
It was like 25, though.
29.3, but nobody's counting at all. Okay? No, nobody's counting.
Right. It was a lot. Because I remember this is pre-YouTube. They got to understand this.
Right.
This is pre-YouTube, pre-IG, where you can see clips all over, right?
Yeah.
Anything you saw was just basically on ESPN, right? So I'm like reading the article. I'm like, dang, Coop averaging 30? Man, he's getting big. And again, we went through the struggle together. And I saw Coop continuously put that work in and just get better every day. That's one thing that I love about Coop. Every day he committed to his craft and he got a little bit better. So then when we came in, because we came in like the summertime, we came a little early before the season, right? Maybe like July. Mm-hmm. From July to like March, oh my God, by March, Coop is dunking everything, coming off the pin downs, knocking it down. It ain't hitting no rim. It's like, oh man, this guy's gonna be a nightmare for somebody.
No. What's so funny? I will say one thing. I think the one play in practice at St. John's.
Okay.
That
I know what you about to say. That's
no, because it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that.
Right. Okay.
And it was the first play.
Please speak on it.
In practice, I remember Mo was 6'11". 6'10".
He was like 6'11".
Yeah.
Cool. Come on, man.
His arm was something like that.
They touted him as a 7-footer, 7-foot African.
I just started dunking. This was early in the game, right? Mm-hmm. And we ran some drill, whatever. And I guess I was mad because coach probably said something to me.
Right.
And I came down on the break and I took off on him, right?
Bad.
I just dunked on him bad. And I turned, after I dunked on him, I saw like everybody jump up, but I looked over at coach.
Right.
And coach was just like, right. And that to me, that was like that moment. Right. I was like, sometimes it takes one thing to kind of change everything.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
For kids' minds.
Yeah. I remember that, and then after that, you were just starting to cut that drill. I remember, and he never stopped drills. Right. And I remember after that, I said, "Oh, Coop about to kill folk." And after that, you really start going at people's necks.
No, man. I went through times of, and you went through the times where we had to humble ourselves.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And then we had to. There's a choice you can make. Right. So when I was in the 9th grade, I was in Texas at the time. I lived in Texas, and there was an A team and a B team of our freshman team. Mm-hmm. And all my friends, that I hung out with and that I were cool with in Texas, they were all good. And if you made the A team on the freshman team, that was like the thing.
Right.
The B team was like the backup.
Right.
So we tried out. I was still small at this time. The other kids, my boys were maturing faster.
Okay.
And I went for the trial for the team, and I knew, I was like, I'm good.
Right.
I'll make the A team. Everything's fine.
Right. It's fine.
So we go to the tryout. First day is good. Day 2 is good. Then go to school the next day, and on the sheet they put the who made whatever team on the wall, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I walk up and I don't see my name on the A team.
Right.
And the coach puts me on B team.
Wow.
So I have to go to practice that day, right? And I'm mad. I'm furious.
Right.
And I have to walk, the A team practice on this side, the B team on this side.
Right. That's vicious.
I had to walk away from my boys.
Right.
And go down to the B team and act like whatever.
You like, holla at y'all.
I went home that day and, I cried. My dad was like, my dad's sitting there looking like this. And I'm crying. He's like, I didn't make the B team. Right. I made the B team and not the A team. I don't understand. I'm one of the best players. And he said, so what you going to do now?
Right.
And I said,
basic old school joint.
Yeah. He said, so he's like, okay, so you want to quit? Because if you want, you can quit. Because at that time, I was playing a whole bunch of sports already. So he was like, if you want, you can go play something else. Mm-hmm. He's like, you can either quit or you can kill on the B team,
right,
and show them that you deserve to be on the A team.
On the A team,
and I had all these excuses, but Dad, the teams are set. They're not gonna let me go on the A team,
right,
or whatever, and it's not fair, and I'm better than these guys, and there's nothing I could do. Like, once you're on the B team, you're on the B team. All these stupid excuses, right?
Right.
He's like, all right, so quit then.
Right.
There's 2 ways to go about this, right?
Right.
You can either quit or you can play.
Right.
Play on the B team and kill.
Right.
So, of course, I fought it, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I have to play. I love the game too much. Right. I have to play. Yeah. By the 3rd game, I was moved up to the 8th.
Right. Hey, look, that's how that go.
And I really thought that was like although I was 14 years old, that was the ages between like 10 and 16 years old are like huge years on your confidence.
Absolutely.
And your status.
Absolutely.
The status is really big especially when you get to high school.
Right.
If you're an A team or B team guy, if you're a JV or varsity guy. Yeah. So it's a huge deal. So for me to go against, not making the A team, whatever, and I fought, and that was the first time I actually dealt with on basketball side, like adversity. Because I was always one of the best players on the team or whatever, and that was the first time where I was challenged.
Right.
And from that moment on, every time I got challenged with something, I kept thinking about back then.
Right.
Yeah. When I was told no.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. But I had to prove yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
And it kept happening over and over again.
Right.
St. John's, I was told no. Right. No, you're not ready to play.
Right.
But then I had to prove yes, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I felt some type of way that year with us because that year, some people say 1999 was one of the best classes that this area has ever seen.
Oh yeah, hands down. I was talking about that the other day.
We had Roger Mason.
Right. Shout out to my boy Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Chris Monroe. Rodney White was in this area.
Shout out to my boy Rodney White.
Jameson Brewer. Keith Bogans. Joe Forte.
The Matha.
All those guys I named were first round picks.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with those type of players. Right. So that they were getting all these big these big schools. They were all big schools where we had to just kind of fight our way in.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that was a mean class we had.
Yeah.
Mean class.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, arguably the best class to come out of this area.
Because we had like 8 draft picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all in this DC area.
Right. Yeah, it was crazy.
Come to find out, all those guys reclassed.
Right.
So they were all a year older.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's just how it is now. But I learned now, like I coach now too, and I realize when parents ask me, do you think he should reclass? And I say, you know what, like I've seen it firsthand what it does. Every single year with these kids makes a difference.
It does.
I wasn't the same player at 16 as I was at 17.
Facts.
So every year counts for these kids because they grow.
Yeah.
They learn faster. So so all those guys, Roger and Keith and all them were all 80s babies.
Right.
79. Some were 79 babies. And I was looking at it like, dang, I'm playing against older guys right now.
Grown men out here, right?
But yeah, this area is flooded with great players. But
Absolutely.
That year
was crazy.
Was a great year for us.
It really was.
So from there, went to VMI, led the country in scoring. I kind of wanted to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to change. I had, and I don't really talk about this, but it's so many years later, so I have the right to talk about it. I had a little problem with the coach. The coach had a problem with me. I've always been a coachable guy.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He had a situation where I was the big fish in Little Pond, and he wanted to be the big fish in Little Pond.
Ego type stuff.
And unfortunately, I was like, it was just time to do something else.
Of course.
So
what'd you do?
I made the announcement that I was going to leave, and that's when the phone, started going off the hook or whatever. And I got offers from a lot of schools, of course, but I had to pick between 2. My 2 were Missouri, Kentucky.
Okay. Well, those are 2 pretty good schools.
Yeah, and and Coach Snyder, he's the head coach of the Jazz now.
Coach Quinn, that's why I say be so humble. Yeah. Coach Quinn Snyder, who now coaches Donovan Mitchell in the Utah Jazz. Yes,
and they're good too.
Yeah, and he's a pretty long tenured coach. He is a pro. How long has he been a coach for the Jazz? 5, 10 years?
7 years, 6 years.
It's been a while.
He started in, I would say, 13.
Yeah, I mean he's been there for a while.
Years,
for an NBA coach, he has a great tenure.
And I, everybody that played for him knows like he's a pro coach.
Right, absolutely.
Everything we did was pro stuff.
Right, exactly.
Unfortunately, he was meant to be on the pro level. Yeah. In the college level, it was too many restrictions for him.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And he, calls were made.
Right.
At certain times weren't supposed to happen.
Right.
But all these coaches break the rules in some way.
Yeah.
It just depends on the degree and the level.
Right.
But
so he recruited you?
So yeah, he recruited me. I went on the visit to the school. By the time I got on the visit to the school, and I was already there, is when the word started to get out that I was free. Not a lot of people knew that I was available at that time. Yeah.
Got you.
So I was already there. So they got the inside scoop of me, and I felt like at that time they were that team on the rise. They were ranked probably 18th at the time in the country, and I felt like this is that school that's not one of the blue bloods,
right?
But they're the school that makes some noise on the low, like that doesn't,
right?
Whatever. So I already told them when I went on my visit, I love the visit. I was like, this is where I want to come. I told the coach.
Right.
And I got back on my flight home. And when I got back on my flight home, the coach, my phone rings. I get to my house about 8 o'clock that night. And then 11:30, between 11:30 and 12, I get a call on my phone from some random number. And it's Coach Smith from Kentucky.
Like Tubby Smith.
Okay. Tubby Smith. And, I don't know how I got my number, of course.
Right.
But he's like, hey, Jason, I want you to come out for a visit, you know. And my mom's in the background.
Right.
He said, Tubby Smith.
Right.
Yeah. Tubby Smith. Yeah. And I'm like, it's Coach Smith, Mom. You know what? And she's like, Jason, you gotta go.
Right.
He's like, I want you to come out on a visit.
Right.
You know, I'll fly you first thing in the morning.
That's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
And this is 11:30 at night.
Right.
You go on a flight first thing in the morning. Right. So that means, it's just funny how the amount of cash these schools have.
Of course.
A flight is nothing.
Nothing at all, especially from a blue blood school, like you said.
Right, from blue blood. And I was so loyal to Missouri at that time. I already told them that I wanted to stick to it.
Right.
Now my mom gets on me today.
Right.
For that, right.
Right.
You should have went to Kentucky, whatever. But
and shout out to your mom, man. She's a lovely lady.
Yeah, man. No, thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's dope. But so I go to Missouri. Had a solid career at Missouri. The fan base, everybody showed me love there. It was cool. There were some circumstances that happened with, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy that apparently raped a girl on my team. Right. And it was just a lot of stuff going on.
Right. I remember that.
But we had a good team, solid team. Finished my career out there. And then I got calls from agents saying, hey, some teams overseas that want to see what's up. Right. I was like, cool.
Right.
And I signed with this one agent. He says, you know what? There's the Spurs, San Antonio Spurs, and the Atlanta Hawks want you to play the summer league with them. Okay. And I was like, all right, bet, cool. Right. I wasn't going with the Spurs. I'm a diehard Spurs fan.
Right.
But
from Texas.
Their roster was just crazy. They had like so many people that I looked at, and I was just like, no. So went with the Hawks and had a solid summer league with them, and then they asked me to come back for the vet camp. Okay. Which was huge, right? Yeah. If you get invited to vet camp, that means like you're one step to making that team. So my agent, I talked to him on the phone. He says, "Yeah, Coop. So you can go to the vet camp if you want. They called me. They invited you to the vet camp. We'll give you for the 2.5 weeks of vet camp. We'll give you $30,000, right? Okay,
that's a good look.
And I was like, oh shit, this is a dream. This is what's up, right? And then he says, or I got this team in Germany. Okay, wants to give you 6 figures for a multi-year deal. Okay, and guaranteed and all this stuff. Right. So you tell me what you want to do. I think you should take the deal over in Germany for the simple fact that they drafted. If you saw the Hawks in the draft, they drafted a bunch of guards.
Right.
I was like, I hear you, but it's the NBA.
Yeah, it's the NBA.
I'll take my chances. Yeah, whatever.
It's the dream.
So I decided at that time that I went home. I thought about it, of course, and I was like, you know what? And he's like, if you turn down this deal in Germany, I'm not sure if I could get you something like that.
Ooh, okay, good, gotcha.
Right? For multi-years. Yeah. 6 figures, tax free.
Yeah, that's a great look.
I was like, oh man, this is.
Shaun's like,
tough.
dang.
Yeah, this is tough, right?
Yeah.
And so I chose to go to Germany.
Right.
So I just didn't want to roll the dice.
Right.
But now that I look back at it, I probably should have taken the job in the league, because if it goes on your resume that you put the time in at a vet camp, that sticks on your resume.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So I might have done it, but at the end of the day, there is no regrets. Yeah. You have to decide, make your decision and just go with it.
Right. Absolutely.
And went to Germany, played for this team called Bonn, and had a great time there. They showed me so much love there, and it's basically you eat, sleep, basketball. I mean, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. Right. They pay for everything. So your apartment paid for, car paid for, all your bills paid for. Only you have to pay for at that time back then was the cell phone bill,
right?
Because the cell phones like back then 2005, 6, you had to pay for them,
right,
and gas,
right.
And then if you wanted to go out for food, obviously restaurant,
right.
We had three restaurants that sponsored us, so we went there for free. We could,
right.
So there were times when I would for real spend a week and I wouldn't spend $1
in a whole week.
In a whole week.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just took advantage of it. Right. So but yeah, I had a great time there. I went on from there. I went to Finland in 2009. I got hurt in 2008, and this is another time in my life where I had to face, some adversity. I was in my third year with that team. I had some cartilage damage in my knee, and so they offered me. They said, "Look, Jason, the doctor says that with your knee, there's a 50% chance that you'll ever play again."
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right. So in my mind, I was like, I don't believe it. I just went against the doctors, whatever they say. And Germany has some of the best doctors in the world.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right.
I know Kobe went there for his knee stuff.
Kobe went there.
Rest
all
in
that
peace,
stuff.
right?
But I didn't listen to him. Yeah. Whatever.
Right.
There's no way these guys are gonna stop me from playing. Whatever.
Right.
So they offered me. The team was so good to me at the time, but they offered me a lower contract. They didn't know how it would go to come back. And I said at that time, you know what? Maybe it's just a sign that I just got to go start something new. Right. So I went home for months, rehabbed, and then I got this offer to play over in Finland for this team. They were going to bring me in for 4 months to finish out the season, whatever. And I was good to go then. I was back in my form and all that stuff. My knee felt great. And went on to win my first championship. Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay. Salute to that. Salute to that. Clap those up. Right?
So to win my first European championship was huge.
Wow.
Right?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was dope. That was 2009.
Okay.
From there, I got an offer in, where'd I go from there? Austria.
Wow, okay.
I went to Austria, played for this team there. A great season. The team was great. Everybody was cool. Where'd I go from there, man? It's hard to keep up with all these countries. So I've been in 4 countries in 13 years.
Wow.
Okay, so, but don't forget, back in the story, that doctor told me I wasn't ever supposed to play. There was a 50% chance that I might not play. Right. That next year, I went on to win a championship.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's just... So sometimes you have to look past stuff that you hear and just go through it. You know what I mean?
Go with what you know.
Go with what you know. So went on for years, but it was so funny because he said that he told me that in 2008 that I might not 50% chance I'll play. I went on to play another 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
So I ended up playing 13 years pro.
Right.
Finland, Austria, Romania, Germany. And I just retired in 17.
Yeah, I remember that when you came home.
Yeah. And now we're
here. Right? Hey man, that was great. That was great.
And that's only one whole segment.
Right.
Sorry, man.
No, fine. That was.
I got a lot to say.
Hey, listen, that was great, Coop. Like I said in the intro, man, you're someone who I respect. What you've accomplished, obviously, but I respect just your basketball mind and your love and passion for the game. Because in those days when we weren't playing any minutes, we were riding together because we were 2 of the Montgomery County guys. Yes. Coop would give me a ride home back from Frederick. It's all far away. Coop would say, "Come on, see, I got you." Right? And we would just talk and be like, "Man, we ain't getting no playing time." But right. But it's like, "Man, you made this one good play here." And he'd be like, "Oh, well, you made this one good play." So we really encouraged each other. And our moms at the games, his mom, like I said, super dope.
His mom, so sweet. You're a grandmother.
Right.
Nicest, sweetest.
Right.
Right? Come to everything.
Everything. Right.
My mom was the same. Come to stuff. And we didn't play a lick. That's right. They was there though.
Right. They were there supporting their babies, right?
Yeah.
So we just really bonded over that. So, as Shaun knows, I'm very much into authenticity, and Coop is one of the most authentic dudes I know. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, man. Absolutely. So you talked about how good the folks in Germany treated you, right? The team, the whole organization, right?
Yeah.
So we got this issue with Spike Lee and James Dolan last week. Spike Lee is hands down, objectively speaking, the most famous Knicks fan ever. Like when you think about,
Spike Lee's probably the biggest celebrity basketball fan. There's nobody bigger than him.
That's a great point, right? So
Jack Nicklaus is at the Lakers game, but there's nobody bigger than Spike Lee.
Right, exactly. That's a great point, Coop. So him and the owner of the Knicks, Jim Dolan, or let me back up. Spike Lee, there's video that surfaces where Spike Lee is arguing with Knicks security and staff, right? Spike Lee comes out, or maybe the Knicks come out and say Spike Lee was not asked to leave the game or whatever. He wasn't technically kicked out. Spike Lee comes on First Take goes on First Take on ESPN the next day and says, I've been using the same entrance for 28 years. And they come to me and say, well, now the protocol has changed. You cannot use this entrance. We want you to leave and then walk 2 blocks and then go use a different entrance. Spike Lee obviously refuses because he's been doing it for almost 30 years, right? And then the Knicks, like the whole thing is just the optics, everything is awful, right? Especially given what happened with Charles Oakley a few years ago, and he was removed from Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah.
So you hear all these people say, you know, the league is better when the Knicks are good, or you should go want to go play in the Mecca, right? You're a pro, right? How important is it for you as far as like the culture of the organization? How important is that for you when you're making a decision on where to play or not? Because you can play wherever you want, right?
Right. So there's 2 factors to it. There's from a player side, and then there's the gods to be side, the ones who run everything. Right. So from a player side, it's very clear. I think what was the player that said it last year before? Iggy. I think Andre Iguodala came out and said, "No, nobody's going to the Knicks." Right. That's right. I mean, that's a real fact.
Yeah.
When the organization is messed up, and you know there's nothing appealing, which is crazy. The Knicks, the Mecca. Every time I went to Madison Square Garden, I'm just like, and no pro wants to go there.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It kind of makes you think.
Right.
So from a player's point of view, I probably wouldn't want to go there either.
Right.
Because one, at the end of the day, it's not just about you.
Right.
True.
If you want to win there, you have to bring somebody.
Right.
And how are you going to convince somebody else when you're not even sure if you want to?
Right. That's a good point.
Right.
That's a great point.
And they've been making so many changes. They even brought in one of the basketball best coaches of all time, Phil Jackson.
Right.
And that ain't even work.
Right. That's a good point. That's a great point.
You know, the way they did Fizz too.
Right.
Fizz has a good reputation in the league.
Right. He's solid out here.
Fizz was actually, when I was with the Hawks, he was our coach.
Okay.
When I was the summer league, he was our coach. Fizz is a great dude.
Yeah. He seems like, and the players love him.
Yeah. Great dude. Like I remember we were in Salt Lake City. We went out to the club, the party, and I rode home with Fizz, and we went out to, you know, we were still hungry after the club, and this guy paid for all my stuff.
Right.
You know, he just met me last week.
Right.
Just a good guy.
Yeah.
Fizz, you know, and the fact that they did him like that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So at the end of the day, that's from the player side.
Right.
Now, from the owners, Adam Silver side. Right. You got to understand, you have a guy who runs stuff, which is Adam Silver, and you got your board, which is the board are the owners.
Right, of course. They
get to do stuff that they want to do.
Right.
And that's it. Spike Lee, the way they did Spike Lee was completely wrong.
Yeah.
The guy's been doing it for almost 30 years.
Right. $10 million in season tickets, they said, when they added it up.
$10 million
right.
to come see these sorry Knicks for years.
Right.
Oh,
you let him walk in on the red carpet wherever he wants.
Right.
And I believe him.
Yeah, I believe him
100%.
I believe him
because what happens is Dolan heard about that, and Dolan knows, like, damn, I think we messed with the wrong dude.
Right.
He tried to jump in front of it.
Right.
Every time men of power mess up, they try to jump in front of it with the media.
Exactly.
They jumped in front of it saying, "Oh, we tried to warn him." That's a lie.
Right.
I think that Spike Lee was not informed. Right. He wasn't told.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't care about no policies that you change.
Right.
You keep him happy.
Of course.
You keep him happy. If he's giving you $10 million, don't you want to keep that stream going?
A season.
Right. Not a season.
No, it was
the 28 years.
Yeah, for all those years.
Yeah.
And that's crazy for some tickets.
Right.
For a team that ain't been good for a long time.
Right.
Never make the playoffs.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
They don't make playoffs, nothing.
Yeah.
So it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to turn it around, which is sad.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, Dolan has got to sell that team.
Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, this is capitalism, right? He has no motivation to sell that team because he continues to profit even though the product is not good. So as a fan, I would love to see the Knicks under new management because they're being completely and utterly mismanaged. But it's like the Redskins. I love the Washington football team, right? Dan Snyder, we've been sorry for 20 years. He's not going to sell, right? Why would he sell? They're so profitable.
You're right, but you got to understand. It's different too, okay, with the football and the basketball.
Okay.
Because Dan Snyder doesn't disrespect anybody outside of the field.
That's true. That's a good point.
It's a great ball game, especially when you disrespect ex-players.
Right. Charles Oakley.
I
love Charles Oakley, man.
You know, James Dolan needs to understand, like, you can't do that type of stuff. And he will learn if this continues, because I think last week showed the lowest attendance in history in 13 years.
Wow, okay.
If that continues, you can go look it up. They said last week that one game after the Spike Lee incident was the lowest attendance in 13 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
If that continues, he'll have to sell because he's losing money.
That's a great point.
You can't pay these people.
That's a great point.
You can't pay everybody.
That's a great point.
You can't pay Madison Square Garden rent.
Right. That's a great point.
You can't pay it.
That's a great point.
If that continues.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And then once fans stop showing up, all these broadcasters, TV networks are going to be like, we don't want to show that game.
Yeah.
And that's when the big money starts.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to do something. The league is going to have to do something that, do something. He has to get out of there. He has to sell it. Just take your $4 billion and roll.
And move on, man.
Somebody's going to buy it.
Right. Oh, of course. Who wouldn't want the Knicks?
Yeah.
So, Shaun, I know you kind of been buried in this. We reliving old stories. We kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, y'all know some more of the stuff like outside of basketball.
That's true, but you're learning, right? Why don't you take us into the next topic then?
Our next topic, we've got what's kind of been like the hottest topic, really, the past week, month, whatever. The return of Dame Dollar and Chef Curry.
Right.
Who's been out for, I think it was 4 months, missed like 58 games.
Yeah. With the broken hand.
Broken hand. The way he broke it was so gruesome. Like, it was a lot worse than how I broke my hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I forgot you broke your hand.
We'll start out with Chef's.
Yeah,
we'll start out with Chef's return though. So, on March 5th, in 27 minutes, Steph recorded 23 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds while shooting 6 for 16 from the field, 3 for 12 from 3, and going 8 for 8 at the foul line, while the Warriors lost by 8, 121 to 113 against the Raptors.
Right.
But Steph still said he was excited to get back on the court and play
after
such a long,
long absence.
Yeah.
I mean, watching that game, I know the energy was crazy.
Definitely.
He energized the whole team, and guys on that Warrior squad were getting looks that they haven't gotten all season because he's running around creating for other people and playing with a certain confidence, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, did you get a chance to check that game out, Coop?
Yeah, I saw parts of it. First of all, it doesn't even matter that they lost.
Right, no.
I don't think anybody cares.
No.
I mean, Raptors are good, but on top of that, it's just Steph out there.
That's right.
We don't have anybody else helping him.
Right.
I was just happy to see him out being chef.
Right.
What about Wiggins though?
Who? I'm saying he was projected to be a better player, and sometimes this happens.
Yeah.
People have projections.
Yeah.
I don't think that he has whatever it takes to be that guy. I think he was number one pick because they thought at Kansas they saw the potential.
Right.
But not every number one pick is what they say they might be.
Most number one picks aren't that great.
Yes.
They really aren't.
It's rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
It's rare.
But do you think when Klay Thompson comes back and kind of brings back the Splash Brothers, do you think that he'll be able to fit in with the Warriors system more? Because now with getting Wiggins back, that will kind of fill the small forward position after losing KD.
True. No, that's a great point. Because if you have Steph at the 1, Klay at the 2, Wiggins at the 3, and you got Draymond at the 4,
right?
Yeah.
Don't even matter at the 5.
Right.
I think that's a solid team.
Yeah.
It's a solid base. And you don't forget, they did win a championship with just the main 3.
Yeah,
Dre,
that's
true.
Steph, and Klay.
That's a fact.
So they're going to be a contender. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting everybody back. This year was considered a break for the Warriors.
Right, yeah.
That's all it was.
That's a good
It was
point.
a break. It was just like, hey, we were dominating for years.
Right.
We got 3 rings in that time.
Right.
Let's take a break, chill out, and rebuild.
Right.
That's all you can do. And you just got to find those little pieces.
Right.
Like, they got Wiggins at the 3, and then they just need to bring in a solid big.
Right.
So, it might change things.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like Drummond or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get him.
If he came in, he'd be perfect. Because
Yeah.
all he had to do was rebound.
Yeah.
Just finish and set screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they got to do is get guys to set screens.
Yeah.
If Steph and Klay come off screens,
It's over.
that's deadly.
Yeah.
Or like a Brook Lopez, that's also more shooting.
True.
Right.
True.
Yeah,
True.
stretch
But to be
five.
honest with you, they don't need no more shooting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Steph and Klay will do all the shooting for
Right.
you.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Anytime a guy scores 37 and a quarter
Right.
Klay,
Right.
I don't need a big to shoot.
Right.
Just set some screens.
That's a
dog.
good point.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And Steph, we know what he gonna do.
Right.
And he's just fun to watch.
He is.
You know, because you don't know what's gonna happen. So
Exactly.
You don't know when he's gonna pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't really like Steph because I'm a big LeBron fan. But like he is fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, now obviously, like you said,
Now
Steph's
Steph
team.
has 2 now. Well, he has 3 rings, but
Right.
2 MVPs.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Gotta respect that,
To
right?
LeBron's 4 though.
True, but how many rings does LeBron have?
Just as many as Steph, and he's on a good route to having one more than Steph this year.
That's
Good
true.
point. The
Well,
Lakers are tough.
this year, you're right.
Yeah, the Lakers are
No,
tough.
you're right. You're right. But who's the better shooter, though?
Well, Curry, but who's,
I'm just kidding.
who's the freight train?
You're right. You're right. No, you're right. It's pick your poison.
Yeah.
With those players, right?
That's a great way
Definitely.
to put it. Now, obviously, like you said, Steph and the Warriors lost, right? But Dame came back and they won against the Wizards, right? And I think it's kind of disrespectful, first of all, as a Wizards fan, that Steph was going to come back against the Wizards. Then he pushed it back, and then Dame came back against the Wizards. It's like, guys come back against the Wizards because they're like, we're going to get buckets out here.
Yeah.
But Dame's team won. And Dame played well. You know, he was solid, right? And so do you think that they can build some momentum off of that, Shaun, and make a real push for that final playoff spot? Because they're in 9th right now, right?
Well, I think that win kind of helps because, I mean, it's a team like the Wizards, and we've watched Wizards games, and we know they just don't play defense.
They don't play defense,
They just
right?
don't play. They're just
they
like,
try to outscore.
That's it.
yeah, they're just like, forget about it, we'll just try on offense.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that it could kind of help the Trailblazers because, you know, it's just kind of like a game where with the Wizards, if they go against a high offensive team like the Trailblazers, like the Lakers, like the Warriors, or any of that, they're going to get blown out.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to get blown out
Right.
simply because of the fact they just can't play defense. They don't play defense
and
at
the
all.
Blazers won by 21. I see you put that here.
Yeah.
125-104.
Yeah, and another thing to add to that is that they had 4 out of their 5 starters scored 20 or more points.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, those players were Melo, CJ, Dame, and Whiteside. And Whiteside, I like to point out, he had like 24 and 16.
Right. He's not even known as a scorer.
Yeah.
That's bad for us.
24 and 16.
Right. That's tough.
Yeah,
That's
so
tough.
I mean, I think it could definitely kind of like change, like give them momentum to push through into that playoff bracket for the Western Conference, because a win like that where the whole team kind of just goes off can just help you throughout the remainder of the regular season,
Right.
or even in the playoffs as well.
Right.
Which, I mean, even if they sneak into that AC, then the Lakers will deal with them.
Right.
But
They'll deal with them.
even just getting into the playoffs, I think could be really big. Is definitely going to be really big for them.
Right.
And I think it can.
Okay.
This one could definitely help.
Now, just to pivot real quick, so one of my boys on a group text said they had Jason Tatum as top 10 in the league right now. And I like Jason Tatum a lot, but they had him over Dame.
Nah.
Yeah, Coop said nah. Hey, he said that joke.
He's on the cusp.
He's on the cut. That's what I said.
Not bad.
That's what I said. I said, but come on, man. Dame Dolan, make him holler. He's put up big buckets.
Before he got injured.
Right. Yeah. So Tatum's obviously not bad. I think that's a consensus amongst us three.
I mean, like, Tatum was going on a rampage. He was averaging, like a little over 30.
Mm-hmm.
But Dame was averaging, 45 and 10.
Yeah, he went on a crazy streak.
Yeah.
6 or more 3-pointers in, 5 or 6 straight games.
Yeah, that's a record. That's an NBA
a record. Not even Steph, Clay, Ray Allen.
That's
none
a
of
good
them
point.
dudes done that. He did it.
That's
and off of just, off the dribble shots and all that. Not, coming off screen, catching and shooting.
Right.
And crazy contested as well.
Right.
From deep range.
Yeah, Kobe said nah.
There's no reason. Well, I don't know who made that list, that top 10 list, but there's just no. I have all respect for Tatum.
Yeah, me too. I like Tatum a lot.
I love his game.
Yeah,
long, he can shoot, throw baskets, but Dame is a different monster. Once you start pulling from his range,
logo,
and then not the way he pulls and doesn't care.
Yeah, that's a fact.
At all.
That hurts.
Logo Lillard.
Yeah.
And
the way he put OKC away last year.
Yeah, and the Rockets.
So disrespectful.
That was epic. So disrespectful.
And the Rockets.
Yeah.
Oh, just
but
so
the OKC one was very disrespectful.
Yeah, that was disrespectful because you did a sidestep.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the way he looked at the camera.
Didn't even care.
Yeah.
At all.
And Tatum doesn't have any of those moments yet.
Never.
I think he's on the cusp, like you said. In a year or two, he could be top 5. But right now, I can't put him over Dame off of one season.
He needs more experience.
He needs more experience, and he needs more.
Dogginess.
I don't want to say accolades, but he needs to accomplish a little bit more.
Yeah.
Move a little bit further along in the playoffs. I need to see a little bit more from him. Like that, no shade, but that dunk he had on LeBron last year, that was good. But I need to see more of that caliber of play from him on the highest levels.
Yeah, because he still lost.
Yeah, I knew you were going to throw that out there. So everybody's talking about the coronavirus. I haven't been paying any attention to the coronavirus, but my wife, she's a germaphobe. She's like, the coronavirus, what about the coronavirus? I'm like, I don't care about that, right?
She gave the germaphobe stuff to me, I swear.
Right. So now you're a germaphobe, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be bringing it up in this podcast except for the fact that it's impacting NBA basketball, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about last week the Basketball Africa League was supposed to start in March 13th. That's been postponed due to the coronavirus. They're hoping that they can start up later in the year once that epidemic is contained or whatever. But then the NBA released a memo telling players to prepare to play with no fans. And so LeBron James, King James, aka I think the best player in the league still right now, right? He says, quote, I ain't playing if I ain't got the fans in the crowd. That's who I play for. Right? Very basic and to the point. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that the NBA should have games with no fans? If you're a player, like both of you guys are, would you play in front of no fans? That's kind of eerie.
Yeah, I think first off, I think there's two plays in this. He's trying to. First of all, he's trying to say, I do it all for you, fans.
Right.
That's one part. He's trying to sell it that way.
Exactly.
And two, what level of fans are you talking about?
Right.
Like if two people come up, those are fans.
Right. True.
Are you still gonna play?
Right. That's a good point.
I think that was more of a play saying, you know what, y'all, like I need as many people to show up as possible.
Right. That's a good point. I can play. That's a great point.
Because if there was like 1,000 people at the game,
right,
I think he'd still play.
Right. That's a great point.
1,000 people there. That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean, usually they average like 14,000, 13,000 or something.
Right.
I don't know how many, but that's still enough fans to play.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would work with that. Like if he says he's not going to play,
right,
in his contract, he got to play.
Right. That's a great point.
I don't know how you deal with that. You just deal with that fine,
right?
And he gets like $500,000 a game,
right.
So I don't know what that is.
Low management.
Low management.
Oh, you could use that. Corona management. There you go. That's how you do it. Nah, you can do it like that.
Right.
Do it like that. But this whole Corona thing, like, I think people are falling asleep on. The flu kills more people every year.
That's a fact. That's what I told my wife. I'm like, bro, the flu kills people
We're
every
forgetting,
year.
And the people that it's killing are all with low immune systems in their 80s,
right.
70s, 80s, low
right.
immune systems.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, you don't want stuff passed around. Of course. I think we're just getting a little carried away with it.
Dude.
Don't y'all think a little bit?
So today I go to. I'm sorry, Shaun. Let me jump in real quick. I'm playing basketball up at the gym, right? Dude is on my team, dude that I have known for a couple years playing basketball with, right? I go to give him a 5, and he gives me a pound. Mm-hmm. He says, hey, man, coronavirus. I'm like, you do know that we're about to touch the same basketball.
Yes.
Right? So my hands are going to be on the basketball that you're using, right?
Yes.
And by the end of the time we're playing, he's dapping me up regular. Because I'm like, you're getting worried about something, but like you're gonna share a basketball.
Yeah,
basketballs are filthy, right?
Dirty
things, right?
Dudes be scratching the ball, face, and grab the ball and let's run. Like no, you can't. Like once you put yourself in that field, you have committed. That's it. You're committed.
Right.
So if somebody has it on the court, it's like a 90% chance you're gonna get it. Because if he's touching the ball, that's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is,
but
man.
To be honest with you, if you look at the studies and all that stuff, it's not killing people. Young people.
Right.
It's killing older people. But if you get to it fast enough, even if you're older, if you get it in the hospital fast enough, you make it. It's like a 2% chance that you'll die.
That's a good point.
You know, just and we forget the flu kills more people.
Yeah.
But I don't know all the science behind it, but maybe the ability to spread a lot is what's making people scared.
That could be it. And I think just watching the TV. So many people watching TV and they're just killing people. And they're just taking it in like, oh my God, I'm gonna catch.
Like y'all just heard that 3 people in Montgomery County.
Right.
Y'all got the email. My kids go to Montgomery County School too. They got the email. There's been 3 people found out. I was like, we're gonna keep the schools open. And of course they didn't say where. They just said Montgomery County. As soon as you say where, they're like, everybody in that business there, they ain't nobody going.
It's over.
They're done.
And let's remember it's 3 people.
Yeah.
3 people.
3 people. In their 70s. One in their 50s.
In their fit. Right.
They aren't dying. They got it.
Right.
Like I really want to know what the whole play was when these people got together and decided how do we put this in the media to scare people? Like what was the end? What's their end result? What are they trying to do? Are they trying to drop the stock market? Are they trying to mess up Trump? I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do. Because this is no different. Like, how come people don't care about the flu?
And that's a virus. And my wife even said that. She even said that. She was like, the flu is a virus. I'm like, then why are you scared of the coronavirus? It's just anyways.
It's a baby to it. Almost.
So, Little Shaun, are you playing with no fans?
No.
I
mean, especially when you're playing with the LA Lakers. And like their tickets, like, have you seen like the prices? What they can go like as low as? I saw one like couple months, like not a couple months ago, like a month ago actually, and like it said tickets as low as $122. I'm like, that's crazy.
As low as.
We got front row seats to the Wizards games for like $464.
Shout out to Uncle Kogi.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Koki. But like, I mean, you can't just go play an NBA game with no fans. Like, I've never heard of that.
That would be creepy.
Shaun, let me ask you this: Do you honestly believe that fans will not go to games now?
I mean, I think that there will be a good majority of fans that decide like, oh no, but like then like other ones would be like, we don't care. At all.
Yeah.
Like
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
people will be like, you know what?
Right.
It's not that serious.
Right. No, I agree.
Like you know, the way you get it is from, you know, touching your mouth, things like that.
Right.
I can go to a game and not touch anybody I don't know.
Right. That's a good point.
You know, and if I see somebody, every time I go to a Wizards game, you see somebody.
Right, of course.
You know, I can still be like, bam.
Right. With the elbow.
You know, but at the end of the day, I'm not kissing nobody there.
Yeah.
I'm not touching them that much.
No.
Like, you can be in a room full of 1,000 people with the virus and not touch them and not get it.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good point.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what like these people are. If they end up going to the games, I don't know. Maybe they can just put themselves in a bubble.
In a bubble, yeah, right, man. Last segment, yeah or no?
I like the segment.
I know you do. That's because your generation, y'all stay being like, nah, right?
Yeah.
All right, so first topic. We know that Steph returned recently, right? Because we just talked about that. Mm-hmm. And some people were, especially like Stephen A. Smith, were criticizing him returning, saying he should sit out the whole season. But Steph's like, I'm a competitor. I want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should Clay return this season?
I mean, if he's feeling fully healthy, I mean, you can't really say that you fully trust the Warriors' health staff because after what happened to KD, obviously.
Right, when they said it was a calf, but it was really Achilles, and then he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, so
right?
I mean, Klay Thompson, he's got an ACL is what they say. So, I mean, I think that Klay should maybe... Because there's like 20 games left in the season?
Yeah, about 20.
So I think that Klay should probably just sit out the rest of the season.
Okay.
And just be fully healthy for next season. Not because, you know, just we want to get the first draft pick or like get a high pick or whatever. Right. No, just like to be healthy.
Right.
And
fully healthy.
Yeah, just be fully ready for next season.
Okay.
And fully redeem yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What you think?
No, I feel that. I mean, you sacrifice a lot with the last 20 games. You're not in the playoff hunt.
Right, not at all.
You're like, the only reason why you play and spend money on these big guys is for the playoff.
Right.
So if you don't have a chance this year, don't even risk it.
Right.
The worst thing you can do is you come back and he gets hurt again.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
He tears the other ACL.
Right.
And that's what you don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's better for him to sit this year out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anything to prove.
Right.
And it's going to take a lot of, for them to even pull anything off like that, they have to win all their games and get close to.
Right.
And it's just not going to happen. So
No.
sit out, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of winning all their games, Milwaukee is in the hunt for the 70-win club. They'd be the third team joining the 2016 Warriors and the 96 Bulls. Mm-hmm. Do you think the Bucks can do it or no?
How many games left?
It's about 20.
Yeah.
And they have, how many wins they have?
They're at like 53.
It's like 53
yeah.
and 10. I know they have 10 losses.
They have 10 losses. So they basically
It's
need
like
to
19
win
games.
17 games.
Right. And they can only lose 1 or 2.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, 2 games.
Not gonna happen.
You can't. It's hard to win 17 in a row at this time of year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and especially Giannis, I feel like he's taking a slump, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they haven't gotten back-to-back losses all the season. I think that the Lakers just did that. The Lakers and the Heat gave them back-to-back losses, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know, but I don't think that they're gonna get into the 70-win club, and because like you were saying last night, I don't really believe in the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Bucks. And Giannis, I saw on ESPN that he's getting an MRI on his knee. So I think his left knee. So yeah, he might be getting ready to load manage a little bit. You know what I mean? Not at all. Not at all. Because you should be rounding into form right now.
Yeah.
Not having your best player, your engine, so to speak, getting MRIs.
And I saw I know that he did get hurt last night. I saw he I think he went up against AD, and I think he like fell and like hurt his knee and like maybe fell on it awkwardly. So it doesn't look like the greatest position to be in right now.
Right.
But hopefully it just comes back positive.
Right.
And, he's all good and he's gonna be ready to go for the playoffs. Maybe get like 2 or 3 games in before the regular season ends.
Okay. So
yeah, if he's hurt. Mm-hmm. You already got the first spot basically clinched.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point.
Let him sit for a couple games until he gets well.
That's a great point.
And then finish up strong. But don't you don't want to risk it.
Right.
And you've worked hard all this season to get there.
Great point.
But it's hard if you already have 9 because the record's 9, right?
73-9.
Yes.
Yeah. For
the
Warriors, yeah.
And they already have 9 losses.
Right.
Yeah. So. You ain't gonna win 17 straight.
Right.
Yeah, they can only tie the Bulls now.
Yeah.
They can only tie the Bulls, but they ain't going to do that.
Right.
It's too great.
It's just hard. 17 games, and I haven't looked at their schedule, but I can imagine they're going to play some real teams.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're only going to lose 2 games.
Yeah.
Or 1 game.
Yeah.
And speaking of tough schedules, the Lakers just have a really tough schedule playing the Bucks and then the Clippers.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 3:30.
And that game last night, I think LeBron kind of just reminded people and Giannis that he's still the king.
Oh, I'm still that dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't come at me.
Yeah.
Right.
Jalen Rose made some good points in the game.
I respect what you've done to the league.
Right.
Mr. MVP.
Right.
But look though.
Yeah, but look though, straight up. Like I'm still the king. Right. So speaking of LA, Deion Waiters. He got dropped by the Heat because he was causing a bunch of problems, right? Doing dumb stuff. And so now LA just signed him, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. Is he going to find success in LA?
Well, if he can not do there's no shame to him at all. If he can avoid the things that he did in Miami and hopefully just, get back to Deion Waiters, who I remember from 2 years ago or something, where he just he was really good.
He's a scorer. He's like Mr. Cool. He's a bucket.
Yeah, he's a bucket.
He knows how to score.
I remember seeing him hit clutch shots for the Heat in big games against could be the Warriors or something.
Right.
He can be a key piece. He can bring shooting for us, and he's like a Contavious Caldwell-Pope, but a better shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what do you think, Coop?
Nah, I think this can go two ways, right?
Okay, yeah.
One of the problems with him was when he was in Miami. I think that he wasn't ready to play that role of being behind a guy like Jimmy Butler or something like that. He even had that problem when he was with the Cavs for a little bit.
Right, I agree.
LeBron was there, or no, was it LeBron that was there? When Kyrie was there,
right.
He had that problem a little bit.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, you're putting yourself in a position to win a championship. So don't come and mess things up.
Right.
Or start no stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't start
know that you with the king. Don't come in here and act stupid and be mad that you're not getting this many shots or whatever.
Right.
Be thankful that you get another opportunity with the best team in the league.
Absolutely.
Don't come in here.
Yeah.
So I just hope that he doesn't. You gotta humble yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's got to do it now because he messed up back there.
Yeah.
He's getting not a lot of people get a second opportunity with the best team in the league.
Right. That's a fact.
So I think he can really help them.
Yeah.
If he comes in with the right mentality.
I agree. I totally agree. Ego and attitude are everything with Deion Waiters because he definitely can play. That's never been up for debate. So recently, LeVar Ball did his media rounds. He was on, not Speak Up, but what's the joint on Fox with Skip and Shannon?
You
know what I'm talking about?
Undisputed.
He was on Undisputed, right? And so he made some pretty audacious claims. One of them being that all 3 of his sons would end up playing for the same team one day, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been on record on this podcast as saying how much of a fan I am of Lonzo and how much he's improved.
Yeah.
like this year he's playing great, right? But
he's hitting them threes.
He's
like
hitting those
last
threes.
Night.
Yeah,
He changed it. He went from here, more here,
right,
ball straight,
which is rare. Yeah. It's rare that a guy at that age changes his forms and this mechanics like that, right? It's very difficult. So, do you guys think that is possible? Can Lonzo, Jello, and Melo end up on the same team in the NBA?
If LeVar Ball gets involved, because,
Well, what power does he have, though? He talks a lot. And LeVar, despite all the hyperbole, right, and the hot takes that he gives, he actually has a very good basketball mind. Yeah. Like, he understands the game at a high level. He can break that thing down. Mm-hmm. So, but he doesn't have any power. He's not a GM or anything.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like him and the NBA are just like friends or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like they're
in cahoots.
Yeah, and it's definitely a possibility. But like, if we're being serious here, I don't think that's gonna happen. Just like how Lonzo didn't get to stay in LA for
that's a good point.
2 years.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he first of all, LeVar is out of his mind at times.
Right, yes.
He says
that's
some
true.
Crazy stuff.
That's true.
About when he back in the day when he said he can beat Michael Jordan 1-on-1.
Right.
Like some of that stuff is crazy.
Right.
But I do respect the fact that he was able to talk his son into the second pick.
That's a good point.
He was not a second pick in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Second pick.
I agree. Over Jason Tatum.
And can't shoot.
Right. Over Jason Tatum. Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that he did that is genius.
Yeah.
The fact that, and I love his mentality of that whole big baller brand thing.
Right.
He was like, you know what? Instead of these people doing the same thing, Nike coming in and doing, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
And I respect that.
Yeah,
obviously
me too.
It's very hard because it's monopolized the whole thing. It's
right.
Nike, Adidas, Under Armour.
Right.
They run everything, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I respect that he. I mean, it's got to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Somebody has to come in and say, it's not all about them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then these guys, but they're the ones with the big money. They come in on that stuff.
They got the machine.
But is it ever going to happen? All three of them. What about LaMelo?
Right.
Is he even going to make it in the league? That's the question.
So, hold on. LaMelo, they're saying is going to be the number one pick.
No.
Jello. D'Angelo. Right.
That's the middle one.
Right.
Is he ever going to be in the league?
That's my question.
Because he missed his window.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that he's going to be able to make it in.
Yeah.
He'll probably be in the G League. I haven't heard he's been killing there.
Right.
Yeah.
So how is he going to get his opportunity with that?
Right.
True.
Now, to the Lonzo and Melo, yes, they have a chance.
Right.
Because I honestly, in my personal opinion, Melo is better than all of them.
Right.
Better than both of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the way he's able to play ball screens and pass.
Right.
And his shot's crazy, but it goes in enough.
Right.
And he's taller than what's name. He's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Point guard.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
Like I think that his career is gonna be better.
Yeah.
Than Lonzo's.
I agree. I totally agree.
And he's supposed to be top 5.
Yeah, they're saying maybe number 1. Maybe number 1. Him or Wiseman. The kid from Memphis.
Wiseman, yeah.
So this is a question. We got 2 left. Mm-hmm. This is a question I've been waiting to bring up since we knew you were coming on the podcast, Coop. Last year, Luka Doncic made a claim that went under the radar, but for some reason it's resurfaced. He said that it's easier to score in the NBA than in Europe because the court in the NBA is a little bit bigger and that the NBA has that defensive 3 seconds rule. So people have to spread out some, right? As a European pro, right, who obviously had NBA talent, right? What do you think about that statement?
I think he's absolutely right.
Wow.
No, it's a different game there.
Okay.
It's a different game, and the spacing, the 3 second rule, it makes all the difference in the world.
Right.
Because shoot, if overseas, some of them Europeans that are 7 feet tall, they just throw them in the paint.
Right.
And it's the difference when you come off a ball screen and you see open space, nobody there.
Right.
Or if you see a big man sitting in there.
Right.
It makes a difference. So it definitely makes, and the spacing, and the other thing that people don't think about is this. outside of the rules of the game with the spacing and the 3-second rule, you play 8 more minutes in the NBA.
Oh wow!
Okay. Overseas, it's 10-minute quarters, four quarters.
I did not know that.
So you have 8 more minutes to play.
Wow. Okay.
So when he's talking about scoring, he's thinking about that too.
That's a good point.
Because if you have 8 more minutes to hoop,
right?
That's 16 or 18 that you average can go to 24, 25 a game.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You got 8 more minutes to play is a lot.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm. That's a whole lot.
So that plays a factor in it. But he's absolutely right. And there's more zone over in Europe.
Wow.
They play a lot of zone. There's times when, it was every third game when we were going zone against a team. Just depends on if they were shooters, if they were not.
But right. Mm-hmm.
Zone changes everything.
It does. It absolutely does.
So it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. I'm not saying that. For him, he's basically saying it is easier because the way he's killing now, he wasn't doing that over in Europe. I know.
His numbers didn't look
His numbers
like
were
that.
not that good, but the game is different too because it's just a different flow over there in Europe.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The time is shorter, of course, and it's just a different flow, so you can't do all the things that you want to do in that space. In Europe, we come back here in the NBA, got all this space. There's more jacking threes.
Right.
They don't jack threes like that over in Europe.
Wow.
Here, I watched the Rockets play the other night.
Oh my God.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
It's like the goal is shoot a three. It's like nothing else almost.
Right.
Just shoot a three.
Yeah, that's
true. Doesn't matter. Shot fake. If he jumps, perfect.
Right.
So that means that makes the game easier because when they're jacking up more threes, more possessions.
Right.
So when he talks about that, he's talking about all that stuff. So I get why he thinks, and that's not for all players.
Right, of course.
That's just for certain guys like him that can make that comment.
Right.
So yeah.
No.
Yeah, and the Rockets came up with a new system so that they can get to the paint more. And they're still jacking up so many threes. I don't understand it.
Right.
You can literally just go to Russell Westbrook every single time, just lay up.
Yeah, but the Clippers the other night, they did a good job of closing out well on him.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to know who you're closing out on because they know he's not going to shoot, so they give him a shallow closeout so he can't dart past the defender, right? Yep. I'm sure that was in the game plan. But the last thing for a yeah or no is Brooklyn just fired their coach. Or they said they mutually parted ways.
Oh, for real?
So that's kind of breaking news.
I didn't even know that.
Right before you got over here. So it's Brooklyn and Kenny Atkinson, who was the coach, mutually parted ways. And this is what really tripped me out. After a win, they won by 19, 20 points, right?
Against who?
I forget who it was against. No, it wasn't a win. You just threw that out there.
No, I actually thought it was
No, I think the loss against Memphis is what hurt them. Okay. The Nets. They lost to Memphis bad a couple days ago.
Right, they did. But
I think that's what messed them up.
But then they came back and won by almost 20, and they still let dude go, and they said it was mutual, right? So, do you think that? And let me say this one last part. The tweet was put out there that if KD and Kyrie wanted Kenny Atkinson to be the coach, he would be the coach, right? They're the stars, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that this KD and Kyrie experiment, so to speak, is going to work in Brooklyn? I have strong thoughts about this.
See, the thing is, so Kyrie has already worked with a superstar level Hall of Famer,
right?
Small forward LeBron James,
right?
So, now he's coming back and he's working with another one, KD.
Right.
But LeBron and KD play totally different.
They do.
And one, KD has a way better skill set.
Right.
He has a way better skill set, but LeBron is just he can be more dominant.
Yeah, he's LeBron.
Yeah, it's LeBron can be more dominant in certain ways, but then in other ways, KD can be more dominant, just taking over from mid range,
right? Just
getting to the paint and just bullying everybody, like we saw last night,
right?
But I feel more the more shooting, it might just mess up. It just might mess up Not that it will mess up, it just won't really work.
Right. Because KD and Kyrie both like to shoot the basketball.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
They both like to shoot off the dribble too.
Yeah,
and,
they do.
Yeah, and Kyrie, he'd be taking all these like crazy little crossovers, step back,
right?
Shots and
right.
And then like as we're like LeBron, he can just like if LeBron was cutting, Kyrie would always find him,
right?
And just easy dunk at the rim.
So you're saying a lot right now, but what are you saying? Do you think that it's gonna work? That's the yeah or no?
I think that it's kind of going to work because really, in the end result, it's gonna make Brooklyn better.
Yeah, I mean they'll be better than they've been, but
yeah,
will they contend?
Like for a
of course, yeah. Will they contend for a championship?
I think that they very well could if Kyrie stays healthy, because he's only played 20 games this season.
Yeah, no, I know, and I'm gonna let you finish, then Coop go, and then like I said, I have some strong thoughts about this. But go ahead.
And KD hasn't played at all this season,
right?
But I feel like if they can both stay healthy for a very good portion of the season, I feel like Giannis and the Bucks, because I feel like they're gonna be the team to beat next year. Still, I think that KD and Kyrie will just show like more experience, and I feel like they're just going to be able to kind of take over at times if they ever run into each other in the playoffs, and then
So yeah or nah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What you think about this, man?
I think it'll work.
Okay.
I think it'll work, but
break it down.
I didn't. This changes everything with that coach.
Right.
Being fired, I didn't know. But because I thought the coach did a great job.
That's what I thought.
Last year he didn't have nothing. He still made the playoffs.
Right.
He was still getting wins. He had those guys playing well.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I think that had something to do with KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have a big say in everything.
Of course.
They're the team in New York right now.
Right.
Nobody
and for the foreseeable future.
Right. So, I don't know what happened with that. My question is, if he's out, who's in next?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I mean? And that's a big part of it. So
you said David Fizdale?
I mean,
that would be tough.
Could be Fizdale.
That'd be tough.
I think this coach that has been under the radar for years because he's been riding along, cruising. Mike Brown,
right? Yeah,
the assistant with Golden State,
with the Warriors, right?
He should jump ship and take this job,
right?
Because he's coached LeBron in the past.
That's a good point.
They had their run in the past,
right?
He has rings with helping out Steve Kerr,
right.
I think they should bring him in and do this.
That's a great point.
Just being real.
That's a great point. So, in the article one of the articles I was reading, someone brought up the name Mark Jackson. And Mark Jackson, I feel like should have had that Knicks job, right?
Yes.
He should have been offered that Knicks job. He's so NY, right?
The Knicks too,
that's what I'm saying.
From New York.
Exactly. So if Brooklyn really were to hire Mark Jackson, which from all accounts that I've read, players love Mark Jackson, and he's the one that established that winning culture with Steph and all them in Golden State, right? That would be a big middle finger to the Knicks, in my opinion, right? But if we're talking about is it going to work with KD and Kyrie, if I had to bet, I'm going to say nah. Because these two, KD's a hometown guy, played at Montrose Christian, right? Yep. Stu Vetter, our coach, right?
Yep.
And I love what KD's done. I love Kyrie's ball handling wizardry, but they're too mercurial. Like, they're too up and down, like, I don't want to say temperamental, but it's just like...
You mean off the court?
Off the court, yes, but I feel like that translates to...
They're dogs on the court.
They are dogs on the court.
Like, no, but think about this, Shaun. Okay. I don't like how sensitive KD is. I don't like how sensitive Kyrie is. You know, when you're a dog, you don't have to deal with these people.
Right, exactly. Just play.
But KD said it. I'm Kevin Durant.
He is Kevin. I know.
And I'm telling you, I think he's gonna come out and he is gonna be back to that KD. He's gonna kill people.
Right. Listen, I think that's gonna happen. I absolutely
DeAndre Jordan in there. just to set screens and roll.
I get that, but in order to win a championship, as you know, Coop, because you won the high school level and the pro level, it's about more than basketball. It's about the cohesiveness of the unit, right? Mm-hmm. And I just feel like this has the potential to be bad. I actually hope that I'm wrong because I like KD a lot and I like Kyrie, but like, I just see them losing a couple games and things being said, and then it's just all going downhill.
You think that? So you're saying these two players that react to a lot of controversy in different ways,
right?
If they're on the same team, it might go back and forth.
That's what I think. I think there's a strong possibility.
There's a good chance that can happen.
Right.
Or it could be flipped and their bond is so strong, the reason why they got them to come to play together in the first place,
right,
that won't happen. Because I see them being like this. You know, like, I don't think anything will happen between those two guys. If anything, if they have anything to blame, they're gonna blame the other dudes.
Yeah, but look, you can't do that. That's what I'm saying. I exactly see that happening where it's like us two versus y'all Bamas. Y'all didn't set enough screens. Y'all didn't get enough rebounds. Yeah. And then there's like a kind of like a mutiny. Like, well, forget y'all. We're not gonna set the screen. We're not gonna rebound. We're not gonna defend. Again, I hope that I'm wrong, but I just see that because at that level. And you still coach, right? You know a lot of coaching is about managing personalities. Yes. So who is going to come in and manage those personalities? Is it a Mark Jackson, right, who's a strong personality himself? I don't know, but I'm just like, there's too much flux and turnover in this situation. So we'll see. If I had to bet, and I'm not a betting man, but if I did have to bet, I would say
it's gonna work.
No.
When you say not gonna work, does it mean not win a championship or just fall apart where they're not even contenders?
I think it implodes. Oof. And they're so talented. They're gonna in the East, which is the weaker conference, right? They'll make the playoffs. Yeah. But I don't see them getting past the first round. I don't see that. Or
really? Maybe, in the East?
Maybe they get past the first round, but second round, they're not a viable contender, in my opinion. Because again, at that level, it's about so much more than basketball. Even in our St. John's days, we were a full unit where everybody was on the same page. Nobody felt like they were better than anyone else. And I mean, some of those guys were better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Jason Capel.
Some of those guys knew they were better than
right, they were,
but we all had the same goal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm not saying those guys wouldn't have the same goal, but we didn't. This social media era,
it's different, right?
It affects a lot of how people do stuff.
Right.
Because you can go home, and just get on your phone. It's
right.
It can really cause problems.
One
tweet can really cause problems.
One tweet, exactly.
Yeah. And if I say something to you in the locker room,
right,
that's different. That's than me going home and tweet and put it out.
That's way different, right?
Hate it.
Like, so Kyrie, first of all, last year in Boston, he did a commercial with Nike. I'm coming back to Boston, all this. Then he leaves, right?
Which is crazy. Which he said, I care about my jersey, right, and all that. He makes it seem like long term.
Right. That's what I thought, right? Then he leaves. It's like, okay, I mean, you're obviously free to do whatever you want, but do you understand what kind of messaging, like what kind of optics that is? That's terrible on your part, right? And then with Brooklyn this year, he says, well, he names all these individual players, here's our core, and he leaves out all these other guys. And we talked about this a couple months ago on the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. He leaves out all these other guys, so he alienates them, right? And it's like, but dude, this is my thing with Kyrie. Again, talent is undeniable. But you have not played more than 75 games before in the season. He averages, I think I did the math, it was like 57 games a season.
Yeah.
So if you're not playing 82 games, or at least averaging 75 plus games, how are you talking about anything? You're sitting out all the time, and they're the ones that are going out playing all the time.
Yeah, but he's thinking more like, he's kind of on his high horse a little bit.
Absolutely.
And he's saying, you know what, I have a ring.
Right.
And the times when I am on the court,
right,
can't nobody stop me.
That's true.
Which is somewhat true.
It is somewhat true, but
that's not enough.
That's not enough, exactly. Right. And Brooklyn this year actually has a better record without Kyrie than they do with Kyrie.
Wow.
So it's like, if he was coming back and winning games for them, then we having a different conversation. But you coming back, you're not winning.
Nah.
You're not winning. And without LeBron, Kyrie's winning percentage is something like 35%. It's something crazy low.
Wow.
It's crazy low without LeBron.
I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah. So it's like, come on, we got to really dig into the numbers here, right? So I'm going to go with nah.
Yeah, I mean, you make some really good points there. But to add on, Kyrie, he needs to learn how to play more team basketball and not just doing just everything by himself. Or he needs to kind of get back to that, like with how he did with LeBron. You know, actually trying to play team basketball and making plays when he needs to make plays. But also, KD needs to, I think he needs to kind of be like, hey, Kyrie, like, I'm kind of like, I know we're kind of like a duo. We're kind of gonna be like a duo, but like I'm the man. Yeah. But like I am truly the man. Right. Like I'm truly the man. I'm better than you.
You can't say that though.
Well, like I've done more than you.
Well, you can't say that either though. I get what you're saying, but you can't articulate it that way.
Yeah, but then like see like it was like with Westbrook. Like Westbrook went back in OKC. He was trying to do too much. You know, when KD was there. Right. And, you know, we saw how that went, you know, lost in the finals. They blew that 3-1 lead.
Right, to the Warriors.
Yeah, and then KD went to the Warriors and, you know, play with a guard like Steph, who doesn't do too much at all, and definitely plays team basketball.
He's low maintenance, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's just really how it's gonna have to go down. Maybe not so, like, maybe you can think about it more than I did, right? And not just be ruthless, but yeah, but
be a little more graceful in his delivery.
Yeah, because you know how Kyrie is.
Right, that's funny. So yeah, hey fellas, I don't even know how long this podcast has been. It seems like it's been about 2 hours, but this has just been like the most fun that I've had in a long time, man. Man. Coop coming through and blessing us. Thank you so much, man.
I'm so grateful, man. Just I've been watching your podcast for a while, and I'm gonna put it out there. I hit him up and said, I gotta come on.
Absolutely.
He didn't ask me. I invited myself. So because I just love the atmosphere and anytime it comes to the game, I'm willing to talk about it all the time.
Absolutely.
And the fact that Shaun's on here too is huge, man.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's doing this, man.
Yeah.
Nobody your age is doing what you're doing right now. So take advantage of this.
Yeah,
and just keep building and growing. Like you're doing, like you're acting like a vet a little bit. like you've been doing this, and that's true. You have been doing this, but this is a good experience for you because you are comfortable already. Yeah, this is not you talking. This is not your first time, and I can feel it. Yeah. Okay, so just keep building on this.
Man, hey, I appreciate those kind of words, brother. I really do, man. Yeah. So again, Coop said he invited himself, but Coop know he got an open invite to anything that I'm doing. He knows that. This is a brotherly bond. And yeah, man, this has been real. I know even for him to get out here, he's got a wife at home expecting twins any minute now.
Yeah, man.
So for you to
I got the phone right here, just in case. I was looking down at it.
Absolutely. And so we had a shirt for you, but it got stolen, like stolen jersey type stuff. We're gonna make sure we get a shirt for you by the time them twins get here. Just to say thank you. And we see that you brought us this Mizzou jersey too, right? Hey, gotta get a shot of that. That's straight clutch right there. But thank you so much, Coop. You know it's always love. My brother, appreciate you, man.
Shaun, come on, baby.
So, Shaun, you want to take us out of here, man?
Yeah. So, thank you guys again for listening to another episode of the Hoop Live with Shaun Shaun podcast. This time with the special guest, Mr. Coop. Please make sure to rate us. Rate us just 5 stars. Just rate us 5 stars. Write a comment, suggesting anything, or let us know how you feel about the podcast. We're doing a good job, or what you think could use work.
Right, and where we at? We are
on all podcast platforms, but if you don't know too many, like 1 or 2, I'll name a few: Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms that you or anyone else, a friend, family member, whatever, can think of.
Absolutely, man. So again, from our family to your family, peace.
Peace.
Peace.